Action.
Hello everyone, welcome to Google Field Day. I'm Julie Kissinger, the e-learning coach at the Metropolitan School District of Mount Vernon, and I will be sharing Google Docs basic training with you today. Let's get started. All right, we are ready to begin, so let's begin by creating a doc. There are a few different options for you to open up a doc workspace. In Drive, you can click on the New button and then just select Google Docs. Another option would be to go over to your waffle and open Docs this way. Another option is to go straight to the Omnibox and type in docs.google.com. That will open up Google Docs. But if you want to go straight into the workspace without having to go in and click on blank document to open up a new doc, this will save you a click. Go into the Omnibox and type in docs.new, and that will open up a document workspace for us to begin working with for today's training. So go ahead and do that. Open up a blank document and we will get started. Now that we have a workspace, I find the most important thing to do first is to go up and give your document a name. So we're going to call this one Demonstration for Google Field Day. And once you have named your document and click outside of that naming box, you'll see a star pop up and also a folder. If this document is important and you want to star that, you can do that. You can also come over here to the folder, click on that, and go ahead and place that into a folder, which is really important for keeping your drive organized. If you don't have a folder already created that you want to put that in, you can go ahead and click on New Folder, create a folder. I'll call this one Google Field Day Docs, and then click outside of that. Click on the check mark there. It will create that folder for you. You can go ahead and click Move here, and now that document is inside a folder and my drive is organized. Now that we've named our document, we're ready to begin working on it. And I want to take a look at our menu bar across the top. We also have our toolbar here. And if we change the view here, we can show a ruler. And we can also change the view here to show an equation toolbar. If you're typing in math problems, then that equation bar will be very useful. I want to take a look first at the File tab and our page setup. You can change this to landscape or portrait. We're going to keep it in portrait for today's demonstration. You can also change your margins right here if you don't like the 1-inch setting that's default. You can also change the page color. So if you don't want the white background, you're creating some type of brochure, you want it to be a bit more colorful, you can come in here and change your background color if you would like, and then you have a new workspace with a new color. For today's purposes, we are going to keep that workspace color white, but you do have an option to change. Next, I want to talk about setting some style options for your font. The normal text that Google Docs always defaults to is Arial and font size 11. If you do not want that to always be your font size, you can change that. I prefer 12, so I can set that at 12, and then maybe I want Courier New instead to always be my default style. So I can change this by clicking on here, going down to normal text, and then updating my normal text to match what I've just picked for the font type and the size. So now when I begin to type, that is going to be my default style. We're going to go ahead and type a title. So I'm going to pick title here, and it is changed to my Courier New now, and 26 is the default size for that. So I'm going to type Google Field Day. Now if I want my font style here to be something a little bit bolder for a title, I can just go up here again, click on the title, and now I can update this to match that styling. I can also change my alignment by coming over here Right now it is aligned left, but I can click on Align Center and it will align my font in the center. You can also align right, or you can justify it. We're going to stick with the center alignment right now for our font. Okay, now that we have a title, we're ready to start adding some information to our workspace here. So I'm going to pretend that I'm taking notes today for Google Field Day. So I want to set up a heading on each page with a different session that I will be attending, and then take notes on those sessions. So I'm going to add a table of contents to my document, and I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to go up to Format, Paragraph Styles, and add Heading 1, and my first heading will be Google Meet. So that's the first session I'll attend. And I know I'm going to take several pages, or at least a page of notes. So I'm going to go down to page 2 and Format and do Paragraph Style again. And this is going to be a heading on this page. So I'm going to do Google Slides. And then let's just do one more. Let's go down to page 3. And once again, Format, Paragraph Styles. And this is a heading. And this is going to be Google Meet. So I have Google Meet, Google Slides. Oops, I have Meet there again. So let's change this one to Google Docs. So I have 3 different headings, and I want to add a table of contents. So I'm going to put my cursor up here and go Insert Table of Contents. Now I have 2 options. I can insert a numerical list for my table of contents, or I could do actual links to those pages. So let's start by choosing the numerical list, and you'll see now I have a table of contents up here with Google Docs on page 1, Slides on 2, and Meet on 3. Now to make those hyperlinks, I click on that again and go Insert, let me highlight that, and Insert Table of Contents, and we're going to change that now to links. Now when I click on, if I want to go to my Meet Docs, I just hover over that, click on that, and it'll take me straight to my Google Meet notes. So if you're sending a document to your students, maybe an outline of some notes in a chapter, and it's quite lengthy, Table of Contents is a great way to organize your Google Doc. Now let's take a look at our menu up here at the top, and I want to focus on the Insert tab. And let's talk about how to insert an image into your Google Doc. You have some options to upload one from your computer that you've already saved to your desktop or your downloads. You can also search the web, go to your drive and pull an image, your photos, a URL, or taking one directly from your camera, your webcam. Which students who have Chromebooks, especially, this is a good option for them. If they want to insert, they're doing one about themselves, they can just insert a picture right there. Or sometimes when we do our about the authors, and I want them to do a picture of themselves and give some information, they'll use their camera app. But we're going to talk about today how to search the web for an image, because what's great about Google Docs is it's going to pull up a search right here for me, and it's going to look for Google Images that are already filtered for license for reuse. So you don't have to worry about the kids, and this is a good lesson to teach your kids that it's important that any of their presentations, their slide presentations, their docs presentations, that they're using licensed images. So you don't have to worry about that if you're searching in the doc. So let's say we're going to do the Google Docs logo, and we're going to pick this one, and all I have to do now is just click and drag that and add it where I want in my document. And it takes a minute, but it will pull it in, and once it's pulled in, I can click on it, resize it, and it automatically comes in line with the text, but I can wrap it, and then that gives me a little bit of option to move that around on the page. So that is a way to insert an image into your Google document. All right, we've inserted an image. The next thing that we are going to go up to the Insert tab and click on is Insert a Table, which actually is one of my favorite things about Google Docs. I love inserting tables to help organize, and I love to send tables to my students to work in because it provides a working space for them. So for instance, if I want them to answer some questions, I can insert a table here, And then on this side, I could pose a question. So let's see, just say, what is your favorite Google app? And then the next one, what is one thing you would like to know more about? And then what is one thing you think you do really well? And then I could send this document, share it with students, and they would know to go over here and fill in their answers. So I could actually just make this, if I wanted, I could come up here and I can insert a row above here, and I can questions, and then over here responses. So they would know to type their responses into that. But there's a lot of different ways you can use tables within Google Docs to organize information. And I will show more of that this afternoon in the advanced session. Okay, we've inserted an image and we've inserted a table. So we're going to go back to the Insert tab and next insert a drawing. You have two options here. You can create a new drawing, or you can go to Google Drive and pull up drawings that you've saved in your drive. If you click on New Drawing, this opens up a workspace for you then to create a drawing in. I do like to create a lot of the images that I use in a Google Doc here in drawings, because that allows me to have more control over the images I put in there. And then it also allows me to layer images on top of one another. And I know that Amy Moore is doing a Google session today on drawings. So you could do a whole session. There's a lot in drawings. So once you've created your drawing, so let's say you're going to put an arrow in there just to call out some information in your document. You can put in an arrow, then you can have the option to change that arrow's color. You can change the thickness of the line, the color of the line even around it. And then you can add in, your own image here that you have saved somewhere. You can even search for Google Images here. So let's say I want to search for Google logo, and I can pull that up, select that, and this allows me then, if I want to layer this on top, let's say I want to turn this, point to that. Now it's behind, but I can order that and bring that forward. There's a lot I can do in Google Drawings. I can even add in, a text box that I want on top of here. So I'll call up Google. And once you have everything created like you want your drawing, you're going to save and close that. And it'll insert it right into your Google document. You can also go up and insert a drawing from your drive. And I'm going to talk more about this afternoon, because there are some great graphic organizers that are already created for you out there on the web that you could add into your Google Documents and then share those graphic organizers for students to work collaboratively with. But let's say I've pulled in a drawing that I've already have saved on my document, or in my drive, I'm sorry, so I can pull that Google drawing in and insert that straight into my Google Doc. So that is insert drawings. All right, continuing to look at things we can insert into our Google document, let's take a look at the next option, which is a chart. So we can pick a chart that we can create right here live in Google Docs, or if we have one that we've already saved from a sheet, we can pull that in from Sheets. But let's go ahead and just select bar graph, and once it puts that in there, then we can click on that, open up the source, and it will open up a Google Sheets for me with that data in it for me to go ahead and update. So let's go ahead, and it's going to load here. And I can open up this cell, and change the data within that cell. So let's call this Wildcats, and then we have the Bears, the Cardinals, and the Dolphins. And then if I want to change any of this data over here, I can update information here. And then once I'm finished with that, I can go back into my Google document, and then I can click on Update, and that information is updated right there live within my document. So that's how to insert a chart into a Google Doc. Okay, continuing under the Insert tab, the next thing I'd like to take a look at is an equation. So at the beginning we showed our equation toolbar and it was grayed out, but once I click on Insert Equation, now it becomes active. I can insert an arrow into my document. I can insert some math equations, so easy way to do a fraction there. And then going across the top, I can also, I want to insert another equation. I have some miscellaneous operations here and also some Greek letters. So that's inserting equations. All right, let's continue down this Insert tab. The next thing we're going to talk about is headers and footers. So you can insert a header at the top of your pages. So if I just want my name at the top of each of my pages, I can insert that as a header, and then you'll see that my name appears at the top of each of my page. I can also do a footer, things I want to appear at the bottom of each of the page. I can also insert page numbers, and I can change the location from the top right, top left, bottom left, depending on where I want my page numbers. So if I click this, now you'll see that my page number appears here as a footer in the bottom left. So that's inserting headers and footers in your document. The next thing I really like to insert into my documents are links. So when you go to insert a link, you'll get a pop-up box here for you to type in text if you would like, or you can just paste the link directly in. I usually like to type in some type of text. So when I go to type the text in, if I want to send the participant to the Google training site, I can go down here, and when I click here, notice it starts searching for that training site for me. So I can just click on this link and apply that. And now I have a link, and when I click on that, it'll take me directly to that Google Center training site. So a great, easy way to add links and make your documents interactive. Next, let's look at how to add a comment to our Google Doc. One of the most powerful parts of Google Docs is the ability to share that document and collaborate with others. Then you can add comments to their document, and then also they can comment on your document, but you can also comment on your own document. Comments always begin with highlighting the text. I'm going to highlight this text, and notice when I do, an icon appears here. That's a shortcut for adding a comment. Simply click on that, and then add a comment. Make sure you click on the blue comment for it to appear. I can also highlight the text, come up here to my menu bar and insert a comment this way, or I can highlight the text, right click, and then I have the option here to add a comment. So those are 3 ways to add comments to your Google Docs. Next, we're going to move over into the Tools tab on our menu bar. The first option under Tools is Spelling and Grammar, so there is a spelling and grammar check built in. Simply click on that, and a box will appear with any suggestions. Right now my document looks good. You can also go to the toolbar and click on the icon for Spelling and Grammar check. The next tool I want to look at is word count, which students really enjoy. If you have a particular amount of words you need in the document, just pull this up and it'll give you information about that. You can also click this display word count while typing, and then you'll get a box over here that tells you how many words, and as you add words to your document, it will change the word count. Under Tools, you will also find a voice typing tool. When I click on that, a microphone appears. Click on the microphone and speak. Voice typing is great for accommodations. When you are finished, click on the mic and close that. This is a great tool, especially for your special ed students. Another powerful feature in Google Docs is the Google Docs Explore tool. This will allow you to search the web, your Drive, Google Images, and also cite sources. You can access this in a couple of ways. You could go up to Tools, click on Explore here, or in the bottom right-hand corner, there is an icon. Click on that, and it pops open this window, and you can begin your search in here. So I'm going to type in remote learning. And what's great about this is I don't have to leave my doc, so this will help keep your students focused. Now I can search the web for information about remote learning. I can search for images regarding remote learning, or if I have documents saved in my Google Drive that I want to insert, or images or slide presentation, something I want to add to this doc, I can pull that from my Drive. I'm going to go back to the web and talk a little bit about this. Let's say that there's an article and I've pulled this up and I want to use some information in my doc, and I'm going to cite this source. So I'm going to add this statement, but I want to make sure that I'm using citations here so that I'm giving credit to the source of this statement. So all I have to do is hover over this box and I get quotation marks. Click on that, and now you'll see that a 1 appears and I have a footnote citing that source where that statement came from. You can also come up and change the style of that citation from MLA to APA to Chicago, depending on what your school system uses. If I go to images and I want to include this image, I hover over it and now I have a plus sign. If I click on the plus sign, it will not only pull that image in, but if I click on this image here, at the bottom, it will tell me the usage rights. Now, it automatically is filtering them for reuse with modification, but I always like to double check that with students to make sure that we have some good digital citizenship and are following copyright rules. And then finally, you can, we talked already about searching Drive. So those are the ways to use the Explore tool in Google Docs. Sharing files is a powerful feature in Google Docs that allows you to collaborate with others. Everyone can work on the same document at once. In order to do this, you click on this blue share button and a pop-up window will appear which will allow you to type in the emails of the people you want to share the document with. So if I'm going to share this with a colleague, I'll type in her email. And now I can send a message to her about this document, but I can also come over here to this drop-down menu and select whether I want her to only view this document, to only add comments to the document, or if I want her to collaborate with me, I'll need to make sure it's selected for editor. Then once I've selected the option I want, I can just send this document to her. When I hit send, she will receive an email invitation to open up the document and start collaborating with me. Now, when you share a link, there are some options under your share settings. Right now, it is set to restricted, so only people added can open this link. So I would have to come up here, and right now I've not added anybody, but I could add someone to this, and now that is the person who would be able to open the link. But if I want to change that restriction, I can click on Get Link here, and I can change it to MSD of Mount Vernon. So then that way, if I send the link out in an email and want multiple people within my district to open it without having to add each of those individual emails in there, that is an option that I can do, but I need to make sure my share settings are opened to the people within my district to open up that link. Or if I'm sending it out to people outside of my district, other people I want to open this document, then I'm going to click on anyone with the link. And then when I send that link in an email, anybody with that link is going to be able to open that document without asking for permission. I really appreciate everybody attending today's Google Docs Basics presentation. I hope if you have a chance, you can come to the advanced session this afternoon where I'll be sharing different ways that you can use Google Docs to collaborate with students and different ways to use it in lesson plans. So I hope everyone is having a great day at Google Field Day and that you're learning a lot about Google tools and you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great day.